In the heart of New York, Peter Parker had seen it all. He had faced aliens, gods, and even his own clones. But as he swung through the night, something felt different. His spider sense was buzzing, not in the usual sense of danger, but a warning, something far more profound. The web of life and destiny, the very force that bound the multiverse together, had begun to tear. The flow of time was being disrupted. New York itself, his world, was on the brink of collapsing into chaos. It wasn't long before he was summoned to the mysterious Madame Web. Despite her age, Madame Web looked more troubled than he had ever seen her. Her frail form flickered with the energy of the web. "The end is near, Peter," she said, her voice steady but strained. "A cosmic force, the Weaver of Shadows, has returned to sever the threads of reality. If we don't stop them, the web will shatter, and all of existence will be undone." Peter's heart sank. "I've faced big threats before, but this sounds different." Madame Web nodded solemnly. "The Weaver of Shadows is an ancient entity, older than the cosmos itself. They exist to unravel the fabric of all things, feeding off the destruction of realities." Peter, unsure of where to start, was soon joined by a new team of extraordinary heroes. The first mission was to close a temporal rift in Earth, 451, a dimension where the Avengers had fallen. In this alternate reality, the Avengers were twisted versions of themselves: Dark Thor, vengeful Iron Man, and Scarlet Witch, all wielding the terrifying power of the Weaver's influence. They had conquered their world, and Peter and his team had to find a way to stop them. Peter teamed up with Miles Morales and Doctor Strange. They battled through hordes of corrupted Avengers, eventually confronting the twisted Scarlet Witch. Using a combination of magic and raw determination, Doctor Strange severed the enchantment that bound her. As she regained her sanity, she offered them crucial information. The Weaver's influence spread through the multiverse, leaving only chaos and destruction in its wake. With this new lead, Peter and his team traveled to Earth 222, a timeline where the world had fallen into dystopia. Here, the past was being distorted, and familiar faces from Peter's own life were altered. They encountered a reality where Uncle Ben was alive, but had become a ruthless dictator who sought to dominate the world. This version of Ben Parker had been consumed by power. His actions reflected a distorted sense of justice. The team was forced to face the darkness of Peter's own legacy, as this Uncle Ben, one who had never died, was a haunting reminder of what Peter could have become without his sense of responsibility. The battle was intense, but Peter's determination, aided by the strategic thinking of Black Panther and the destructive power of Thor, ultimately freed Uncle Ben from the Weaver's hold. In the end, they had to seal the rift to prevent the corrupt timeline from spreading further. As the mission grew more dangerous, Peter realized the stakes were higher than he had ever imagined. The team's bond grew stronger as they ventured into even more unstable realities. Each dimension they visited revealed another piece of the puzzle. However, the true nature of the Weaver's power was still unknown. They encountered the Web's guardians, ancient beings who were once protectors of the web but had been corrupted by the Weaver's influence. Each guardian was a reflection of Peter's own fears, hopes, and insecurities. One guardian was a monstrous version of Peter himself, a creature called Spider Goliath who had absorbed the powers of countless other spider people. In a grueling battle, Peter and Miles fought side by side to take down the beast, but it required more than just strength. They had to outsmart the creature, using their combined abilities to trick it into self-destructing. By now, the team had gathered the necessary information. The Weaver of Shadows had used the loom of time to create fractures across the web of life. These rifts were eating away at the very foundation of the multiverse. If they didn't stop the Weaver soon, every reality would collapse. The team tracked the Weaver to a dimension known as the Infinite Void, a place where all timelines converged.